They finally did it. The Habs have officially extended Cole Caufield 8 years at just under Nick Suzuki's cap hit, about $200,000 per year less. This is just amazing news, so let's just dive right into it on this edition of Habs Digest. First thing we got to talk about. The Canadiens have agreed to terms on an 8-year contract extension, 2023-24 to 2030-31. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but 2030 doesn't even seem like a real year to me at this point. That is so far in the future. And we can look at here, Elliotte Friedman has confirmed the official AAV, 8 years, $7.85 million for Cole Caufield. I mean, I'm ecstatic. Like, I don't know what to do. You can see I probably just got out of the shower this morning. I got up like 9:15 Eastern. The news is breaking. I had to record this video immediately for you guys. But it's amazing. I mean, Tony Marinaro turned out to be right for once. I mean, hey, shout outs to you, Tony Marinaro. I don't know if you ever watched this show, but hey, that's amazing. Like, we were getting worried. A little worried. I mean, I wasn't. A lot of you guys were. You were leaving in the comments saying like, oh, Cole Caufield needs to be extended tomorrow, right? Like, well, what's going on? Why is it taking so long? And guys, maybe this is why it was taking so long. They were teasing us. I don't know, but it's the best thing we could have possibly asked for. Think about it this way. Nick Suzuki and Cole Caufield both locked up until about 2030, combined making only about $15 million. That's like just over one Connor McDavid. It's going to be just over what one Austin Matthews is making. If you ask me, having both of these guys for that price, absolute steal. Like, Cole Caufield scored 26 goals in 46 games last year, almost a 50-goal pace, and he's still super young, and that was with a bum shoulder. He's coming back fully healthy next season. Shouldn't be any lingering shoulder issues, that's what we've heard, and he should be fully good to go. So at this price tag, especially with the salary cap about to jump just next year, this is going to look like one of the best contracts in the NHL very soon, if you ask me. Let's look at what some other people are saying. Like, Eric Engels kind of shares that sentiment, right? Eric Engels, one of the best Habs reporters out there. I think this is a win for both the Canadiens and Caufield. He's getting a huge deal and locked in with Suzuki for at least 7 of 8 years. The Canadiens got him under Suzuki's number with the cap spiking in a year, and he's an elite scorer. And I mean, that's true. One big thing about this, when we've been talking about this on the show, about Caufield's contract extension, is, guys, you got to remember, he did have shoulder surgery, and even though the stats show and the doctors are all saying, like, oh yeah, he'll probably be perfectly fine, he's not going to have any lingering issues, injuries are a real thing, and they can keep happening over and over again, and you never know, right? And you never know if after this kind of shoulder surgery, one of the most important parts of your upper body as a hockey player, maybe your shot is just never the same. I mean, we know that's probably not going to happen with Cole Caufield, because even with an injured shoulder, he was putting up almost a 50-goal pace. But if you're him, and you see, look, I got shoulder surgery, do I really want to bet on myself on a bridge deal? Like, because I know Jesse was saying, like, yeah, he really thinks Cole Caufield's going to get the bridge deal, and I kind of shared that sentiment a bit too. But if Caufield's coming in here saying, like, well, look, I was just injured. Do I really bet on myself for the next 2 or 3 years? What if it takes me a season to get back into form, right? Then what? Then they'll use that season against me in future contract extensions, negotiations, and why not just get locked up with my buddy Suzuki on this amazing team with Coach Marty for the next 8 years, right? Oh, it's just so amazing. We got a few other things to look at here. Like, if you just want to look at his progression, 67 games in 2021-22, 23 goals, 20 assists. But keep in mind that in that season, the vast majority of those goals came after Christmas. That was that year wasn't so great, but the final end of the year, under Coach Marty especially, Cole Caufield really started to shine. And this past year, especially with him on that line with Suzuki and Dach, I don't know if they're going to continue that next year, but he was incredible. Like, only 36 points in 46 games. I say only, that's like almost a 70-point pace. But again, like 40 goals, 70 points, and he's 22 years old. And again, people had concerns about his size way back. He's like 5'9". But like, again, in a couple years, $8 million now, I think this has potential to age like a Nathan MacKinnon or a Leon Draisaitl contract. Now, am I saying Cole Caufield is going to be a top 5, probably top 3 player in the NHL, like both Nathan MacKinnon and Leon Draisaitl are? No, I don't think Cole Caufield's going to quite reach that. I think he has maybe the potential to be right up there, Rocket Richard, maybe even some Hart votes and stuff. But at the same time, I just mean the contract is going to age really, really well. You look at when Leon Draisaitl signed that contract under Ken Holland in Edmonton. That contract very, very soon after was viewed as one of the best in the NHL just because of the relatively low AAV for production. And that was just lucky with Draisaitl. And then you got someone like McKinnon, who was kind of the same thing, but the cap also went up a little bit. The thing with Cole Caufield is now he's signing this in the wake of the effects of COVID, where the salary cap has barely changed in the last few years. We're only getting, according to Gary Bettman, about a $1 million spike this offseason, but it's expected to jump up quite a lot next year. So what today, to you guys, maybe you're saying $8 million is a lot, but guys, in probably a year from now, that $8 million is going to be the equivalent to someone signing maybe closer to 6.5 or 7. And if I were to tell you guys we got Cole Caufield on an 8-year, $7 million contract, I think a lot of you would be ecstatic, right? And that's kind of what you have to look at. Signing someone just a year before a huge cap spike is like, it's probably the perfect situation, because you're getting the current salary cap numbers, but really the contract's going to effectively be cheaper because of the salary cap going up. So it's really, really cool. Really, really awesome. And I wanted to show you guys some comparables. We've showed this, I think, twice before in other Cole Caufield contract comparable videos. And now that we know the exact contract, he falls basically exactly on the Andrei Svechnikov extension. And I think that's pretty fair. Svechnikov is an incredible player, and Cole Caufield has a bit better goal scoring. I mean, Svechnikov's still a very good goal scorer. I mean, but, you know, it is what it is. But you look at some guys who are more expensive. Jordan Kyrou signed that 8-year, $8.1 million extension at the age of 25, and Brady Tkachuk's a bit more expensive, but, you know, he has the captaincy, so you're going to get that extra fee for him. But if you look at some guys just about Caufield's price, or maybe just below, someone like Vlad Tarasenko signed a very similar deal at a similar age. Clayton Keller, Kyle Connor. And honestly, and look at when these were signed, right? 2015, 2019, 2019. The most recent and maybe closest comparable is Matt Boldy, who signed at exactly $7 million, but that was a 7-year contract. And that was just this year, again at the age of 22. But I think Caufield has potential. Like, even though you guys know I'm a Montreal and a Minnesota fan, but, you know, Matt Boldy, I think Cole Caufield's better, and I think Cole Caufield has the potential to be quite a bit better. They play very different styles, though. It's really hard to compare two guys who are different sizes and have similar or different styles of games. But looking at where Cole Caufield plays, in the situation he's in, and the pace he was on last year, coming back from healing a shoulder and is now going to be fully healthy coming into next year, it just feels like the perfect situation for Montreal. Again, Cole Caufield and Nick Suzuki signed for combined just over $15 million, when the superstars of the NHL these days are signing contracts for $12, $13 million. At least that's what we're going to end up seeing, because I think McDavid's now, 12.5. Matthews is going to be really the first one that probably breaks that. But to have both these guys signed for that price is insane, not to mention the fact that the Habs right now are relying on a lot of youth, right? Their youth are not getting paid very much because they're entry-level contracts, and yes, we'll have to sign some extra extensions for some of these young guys in the next few years, but for right now, this is the perfect situation for Montreal. Cole Caufield is a Hab for the next 8 years. Caufield, Suzuki, if you guys haven't bought the jersey yet, just do it now. I mean, I might have to buy a Caufield jersey after this one to hang behind me. I don't have one yet. Maybe I'll customize my reverse retro. I don't know, but I'm just so excited. I had to make this video immediately for you guys, break the news, break down all the stuff about it, and even again, we just show up these comparables. I mean, I think Cole Caufield fits right in with all these guys. I think it's a steal, under $8 million for 8 years with the cap spike. I mean, in my opinion, it's going to look like one of the best contracts in the league in a couple of years. I want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments down below. Let me know how excited you guys are. And in the meantime, while you're down there, hit like on the video. If you're still sticking around to this point in the video, which I hope a lot of you guys are, hit subscribe too. If you haven't hit subscribe, I think that's about 70% of you. Do it now, because we have all kinds of Habs news. And as you see in videos like this, we're sometimes the first people to post news. So maybe we're not the first on YouTube today, but I rushed. I wanted to get this out to you guys so we could talk about it. That'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Everything I just said, it really helps us out. I'm your host, Josh Gosse. We'll catch you in the next one.